Good afternoon. My name is Alan Dior, and I am one of the newest members at Create a Code, a networking organization for engineers and computer science professionals. Today, I'm here to talk to you about 3D printing. I'm going to go over the outline first. So what is 3D printing? What can you make with 3D printing? How this technology will affect businesses, and most importantly, the bottom line, what you can do next to use 3D printing. Okay, so in the most basic definition, 3D printing is printing a three-dimensional object from a digital CAD or computer aided design software file. Objects are designed using this CAD software, and many different softwares such as SolidWorks, 3ds Max, and Blender can be used. The printer loads the file from the software and extracts its information. When it extracts it, it cuts it into thousands of horizontal slices, because in the actual printing process, it will be printed by horizontal layers, one layer at a time. This is a slow process, but compared to traditional manufacturing processes, this is much faster and much more cost efficient. So as you can see in the two pictures, two examples of 3D printing in use. On the left is an actual final product, an electric guitar. On the right, it is just a simple geometric shapes and just to show what is possible. Okay, so this picture shows the final product in his hand, and on the screen the 3D representation in a CAD software of the same object. You can use plastics, and that is the main material being used right now, but more recently experimentation with ceramics, metals, and even concrete are being used. Okay. So what can you make with 3D printing? In a broader sense, there's many uses. There's spare parts, medicine, art, human organs and tissues, prosthetics, shoes, clothing, and many more products that can be used. These are just three examples that it could be used for. So for machine parts, GE 3D printed fuel nozzles instead of creating it from 20 different pieces, because they found out when you create it with a single piece, first of all, it doesn't require any welds or brazes, and second of all, it's 5 times more durable because of it just being one single part instead of many moving parts. This application is very groundbreaking because it is supposed to make the aviation community and businesses skyrocket. Another use is prosthetics. As you can see, the boy has a prosthetic hand. This is a very unique case in that it was created using a 3D printer. When any part of it, let's say a finger, breaks off, it is very special because he's able to print another finger and just attach it to it. Other prosthetics, you would have to possibly buy an entirely new one, and that is very costly. Okay, so for architecture, when architects plan to make their final design and hand it over to be built, most of the time you need an actual physical model, something that needs to be made by your hands. The picture shows that this does not need to be done anymore. You can use a 3D printer to print out what you actually are going to make and show it in a design review. And this can be used in many other applications as well. Okay. So as I mentioned before, there's a few uses that a business can use this for. One is rapid prototyping. mainly traditional ways to prototype is wood and PVC when you're trying to be cost effective. And you can use metal as well, but that is also costly. But using 3D printing, as shown in the right, you can go from an initial product idea to a more modified idea to your final product in 3 simple steps. 1, it looks like they used just cheap plastic just to show this can be possible. 2nd, they showed a more sturdy, more stable material, showing that this will be able to be durable and able to hold when used. And then the final product does not look like it was changed much further, and the process could take a week at most. And this is very good when in the past prototyping took very, very long amounts of time. And as I said before, final products can be made using 3D printing. And new products, things that have never been thought of before, are now possible. Just as with the computer-aided design revolution, this may be the next revolution in manufacturing. Okay, just a quick statistic. 60% of organizations are planning or figuring out how to use 3D printing in their companies. Only 40% have not had any plans to use 3D printers. 60% is a lot of people, and you should not let your company be the one to not try to figure out how to use 3D printing. And this is an emerging technology, and you should invest in this technology. Okay, how can you do this? There's 2 ways. You can purchase your own 3D printer. This might have a high upfront cost, but the benefits are very great, as I showed before. If you do not want to spend this initial cost money, you could partner with a company. An example is Shapeways. They allow you to send your 3D CAD files to them. They print the product. They send it to you for a fee, and you're able to sell that product like you normally would. Either way, the technology allows you to do so many things, and you do not want to miss out on this technology. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation and were able to take something away from this and able to use 3D printing in your company.